If he's a rookie of the year and the Lakers go to the playoffs and he goes Magic Johnson
He's getting
on
the
people,
deal.
yes, he's going to get a big baller brand deal with somebody.
From New York, Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning, Laura Stiles, Rosenberg, Rick Fox back on the program.
Hey,
You're working with Oprah now on the OWN network. This is a big deal.
big deal.
What's this show about?
Greenleaf. Yeah, have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I've seen like
You've
little
seen
like snippets of
Laura's
it.
hyped.
Well, here it's on Netflix, so you can go catch the first 2 seasons. It's also on the OWN network, Oprah's channel, and we're coming back for our second half of our second season, August 15th and 16th, a 2-hour premiere special. So tune in then. The show's about a family in Memphis, Tennessee, that comes from the church. They own a mega church, and they bring obviously faith to the masses, but behind all of that pomp and circumstance is humanity. The things that go down in life, whether it's infidelity, whether it's sexuality, whether it's sexual abuse, all the things that people deal with in the congregation. The pastor and his
Real life,
family
man.
are
It's real
dealing
life.
with those same issues themselves. So you get a look at what it means to be of faith, to be servicing others that need that message of faith, but also dealing with the struggles of being human.
And what's your character?
My character's Darius Nash. So I play a reporter in the town who actually covers this family and uncovers a lot of those secrets, but at the same time falls in love with the lead character, Merle Dandridge, plays Grace Greenleaf, who comes home. She's like the prodigal daughter, not the prodigal son. She comes home to the family, reignites her passion for not only service in general and fight for justice for those that are dealing with some of these issues that we deal with in the show, but also her family wants her to take over the family business and be that pastor and carry that faith message going forward, and she struggles with it. So she's dealing with her own issues around faith and religion.
So you're on the other side on this one because, they used to report on you.
Yes.
And now you're doing the reporting.
It's a
so
nice-
it's an interesting twist.
It's a nice flip. I like it.
I see you on vacation a lot.
I do.
You stay tan. You stay.
Yeah.
Stay.
I go to warm places.
Yeah.
I do.
Where I see you on, but you're a big boating. You're a big yacht guy. I think I see.
am. Yeah. I spent about a month in the Bahamas. I'm from the Bahamas.
Yeah.
So going home is always nice. But then, as you know, in the Bahamas, we're not just Nassau. A lot of people go to Nassau. They go maybe to Freeport. We got 700 islands. Now, some of them are only like a stone sticking out of the water, but
still an island.
Yeah, we still call it a key or an island. But about 21 of them are inhabited. And I just took about a month to go spend some time on some of the secluded, quiet ones. Boated and just
Fishing?
relaxed. Huh?
Do you fish?
Yeah, I caught a fish the other day. Actually, I caught a fish in Cabo the other day at Dorado. So I spent
You're
a
right. He
week
does
in
do a lot of
Cabo.
vacation. Cabo right away. That's a Cabo.
Yes. I spent some time in Cabo last week. But yeah, I do travel. I enjoy it.
What do you prefer? Or maybe you love them all, but what do you prefer more, acting or the sports?
Well, I'm a fan now. I mean, from the sporting side.
Or sports
I can
commentary,
no longer,
but you do the commentary too.
Yeah, I've done that, and that's been more, I guess it's been a part of my life for so long. So being a part of the game and having a foot in it from a commentating side has been something I've done for the last few years. It's kind of coming to an end now because of a show like Greenleaf, which takes a lot of time to make.
Where was your deal with what network?
Turner.
So you would just
NBA
pop.
TV.
You would pop up and do NBA TV.
Yeah, I spent about 4.5 years doing it.
Doing how
with
much a
them.
week?
Every weekend.
Every weekend.
Yeah,
okay.
during the season, I'd go back and forth, and that was fun. I get to spend time with Shaq and Charles and Kenny, the guys, Steve Smith, all the guys from the crew. It's like going back in the locker room. Like when you leave the game of basketball, people always tell you if they've been a professional athlete, they miss the guys, they miss your teammates, you miss the boat, the bus trips and the plane rides and hanging out together, going to meals and dinners and just being guys. And that was that void I missed when I retired for about 6 years, and I realized I didn't have that. I didn't have that kind of fraternity in my life anymore. And so I got back into it, and it was great. And now it's coming to an end, but it was a great time.
Well, it keeps you young, I'm guessing, right? Like, there's inherently a difference between being dad, husband, who's in a household, and being one of a group of guys who's sitting at a table talking, having fun.
We played cards. We drink a beer together, hang out, and talk about life, talk about social issues, talk about current issues, and all. Talk about raising our kids. Just talk about the things that anyone would do with a group of friends, close friends. My close friends were always my teammates. And when you leave the game, you stay in touch with them, but everyone kind of goes in their different directions in life. They got to raise their families. They move on to find their second careers after basketball. And in the case of the Turner family there, you have a group that come from the world of professional sports that work together every week, and they still have that same vibe that they had when they played the game. And that's, it's hard. Only a few people get to do it, but it's really an enjoyable thing to have in your life when you leave the game.
When was the last time you talked to Kevin Gamble? I want to know right now.
Oh, man. That's wow.
It's my new game I play when I talk to athletes is just throw a random player from 25 years ago.
Kevin was, I was a rookie. Kevin was at the Celtics, and I played with him for 3 years, and that was probably the last time I spoke to Kevin Gamble.
What about D. Brown?
D, I saw recently, maybe in Summer League last year.
You're not just going to have Celtics talk with a Laker.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Well, no. He's half Celtic, half Lakers, split down the middle for his career.
You got a chip? You got a chip with the Celtics?
No, I got 3 with the Lakers.
Yeah,
so I guess
let's not do that ever again.
Well, you're not going to act like they have more or something. It's just the timing of when he was there.
We're talking to Rick Fox. You guys are on a great trajectory right now. Shout to the Celtics. You guys looking good.
Really good.
We're right behind you, though. We'll be there.
Yeah, no, we will.
Few years.
You'll be there?
Well, speaking of a few years, what do you make of, as a Laker, what do you make of LeVar Ball?
It's nice.
Rick Fox speaks on LeVar Ball.
Right.
Headline.
There you go. Headline.
Fine.
Look, the play lived up to the hype once he hit Summer League. Now, it is
Lonzo,
Summer League.
Yes.
You actually got to see him represent himself beyond, the love his father has for him, and obviously the hype his father generated leading into the draft. And quite frankly, I can't fault him for putting a light on his son in hopes that it drew enough attention to get him drafted to where he wanted to be, which was the Lakers. It worked, right?
Do you like how, as a fan of basketball, as a parent, do you like it, or did you find it like, I'm not for it?
Look, I have 2 kids. I love my kids. And I'm their biggest supporters. I'm their biggest cheerleaders. I don't get the stage to maybe get out in front and, champion how great they are in their lives, but I love my kids just as much as he loves his sons, right? He goes about it in a boisterous way, which is fine. I mean, to each his own, right? He's no different than Richard Williams. And I love the Williams sisters, and look what they've become, right, in their careers, right? But he didn't have social media in his era. Could you imagine if he had social media in his area? Right. And so
he might have told some white women to stay in their lane. It might not stay in your lane.
I'm sure he would have seen a lot.
Yeah, and so when we think of this is not new. This is not something new. I mean, it's just been heightened by the awareness that we have today with technology. But I thought it was entertaining. I was concerned about the pressure it may be putting on his son, because his son, had to deliver on a lot of that, right? But man, sure has he. I mean, it's only, like I said, MVP of Summer League, but the kid is delivering on that and doesn't seem to be embarrassed of his father. Doesn't seem to shy away from him.
And when he did that commercial, what was the commercial?
Was it a Foot Locker commercial?
Yeah,
did you see that?
Yes,
crushed that.
He was genius.
Crushed
He's
it.
a good sport about it.
So look, he didn't start raising his son just when his son, the last couple of years, became a great basketball player. This is obviously a relationship he's had with his kids in their life, from infants on. You can tell a father has a relationship with his kid when the kid responds the way Lonzo's responding to his dad.
And also, we always bring this up, not enough gray in life. You're allowed to say LeVar Ball is entertaining, is a great dad, and can sometimes be a jackass. Like, people can be all those things.
Hey, that's 2 for 3. That's like
That's pretty good.
That's like batting 6.
You going to the Hall of Fame,
right?
And the fact that he's in his son's life, I commend that. The fact that he actually will put himself out there in defense of his son, celebrates his son, is in his son's life. Look, man, I think more kids could have a father with that.
Are you buying the big baller brand shoes like I did?
Well, look, I took a second look at him after the young fella performed in
Summer League.
In Summer League. So look, Give
Ebro,
it
you wanna
time.
tell him?
Give it time.
I ordered.
Give it time.
I was the first batch of orders. I have not received my shoes yet.
Not yet? Okay.
Ebro, I wanted to give you an update.
Look at his face. He said, "Not yet."
I wanted to give you an update. I wanted to give you-
Congratulations.
It's
you
been
played
like
yourself?
6 months.
I'd like to give you an update, Ebro. I read an article last week.
Okay.
I forget where it was. A very in-depth article about what's happening with Big Baller Brand. He doesn't necessarily have a place to make these shoes yet.
So they're not made yet.
No,
But
they're not made.
But you know what it's like? It's like pre-sold condos, right? Like he's marketing.
There you go.
He's marketing it right now. And at the end of the day, it won't be long before one of those shoe companies, unlike what has happened with Mike and LeBron and Kobe and the guys that have inside of those companies developed their own brands and have a stake in those brands. He's saying, look, before you come to me 3, 4, 5 years from now, I'm going to tell you what it's
You're
going
gonna have to buy this.
You're going to have to buy this brand
Well, and
today.
we're going to do a split, and we're going to do Big
and it's
Baller
gonna be-
Brand
right.
within your brand.
Right. And so, look, it's
So
smart, but the kid
LeVar,
has,
do I own shares in this? Because I haven't received.
That's it. We got to get him on the show so you can ask him.
I just need a little share. One
But
share.
you know
one
what?
point.
It
Give
went,
me 1 point.
It's really true, though. I'll say this. It went from like no chance, not going to happen, Nike's not doing it, Adidas not doing it, Under Armour's not doing it, to how long does Lonzo have to be great for before they go, you know what, we might have to reconsider letting this guy have his company in here?
Yes.
It'll happen.
It is if Lonzo plays.
If he's an MVP candidate.
If he's a rookie of the year and the Lakers go to the playoffs and he goes Magic Johnson
He's getting
on
the
people,
deal.
yes, he's going to get a big baller brand
facts,
deal
yeah.
with somebody.
Do you like, speaking of Magic Johnson, are you happy for him in his new role with the Lakers?
Yes, because he is basketball. I mean, he's done everything beyond basketball in retirement when it comes to business. When you look at what he's done with the Dodgers, he is
Starbucks,
He's transcended.
Magic Johnson
Yeah,
theaters.
he has transcended just being a basketball player into a mogul, and I think he inspires a lot of today's athletes to want to be more than that in their lives. Right when they leave the game. And so they treat their careers more responsibly as they're playing. But when I think of Magic Johnson, I think of him as a Laker. When I see him not associated with the Lakers the last few years, it was unfortunate. But now I see him returning, and I think, well, look, he's going to have an influence on this young kid, and he's going to be a better player for that at the point guard position. And I can tell it's like naturally his passion. It's like it's his language. It's his.
How does Magic Johnson, just in your dealings with him, we hear what Pat Riley's influence on the Heat is from the from the front office or the box, whatever he sits during the games. Will Magic Johnson be able to let Luke do his coaching thing, or is Magic a very hands-on, or is he strictly in personnel, picking the right players and letting coaches coach? What's his style?
But we haven't seen that yet because we don't know if he will let coaches coach. This is the first. I do know he's been involved behind the scenes for years in guiding and giving opinions to Mitch Kupchak, to the Buss family. So it's not as if he hasn't had his imprint on things. It's just now it's actually his call. It is his last decision. So it'll be interesting to see how the year goes, simply because it's his first as president and general manager of.
I'm excited. As a Laker
telling
fan,
you,
I'm super excited.
I really do believe, though, that Magic and Larry have, sorry, but I got to bring it up because he's been successful at that. Magic and Larry have a trait that Michael doesn't have in terms of their ability to be closer to it without scaring the shit out of people. Like, I think Michael you have to keep in the owner's box, and I think Larry and Magic are, for whatever reason, Larry at least did a great job, and I think Magic will be similar, having the ability to have his hands in the pot a little bit, I think.
Well, because I think Mike still feels like he could dunk on you.
Right. That's the problem, I think, too.
Fam, don't have me
interviews?
suit up, B.
The latest interviews were quite entertaining at his camp the other day when the kids were asking him his thoughts on Kobe and LeBron, his thoughts on Lavar, and so Mike, to your point, Mike has always, I think, struggled with that transition because he was the greatest, and when you're the owner, and unlike Larry coached, Magic even attempted to coach. Mike never coached. Now he sits on the bench close by the team, which is a lot of pressure, I'm sure, but Mike, I think, has done a better job in the last 3-4 years of tempering, that pressure he brings to that organization to be excellent, because he's been excellent. And I think he's stepped back some, and it's actually paid dividends. I think Coach Steve there has done a great job, and some of the younger players, Kemba Walker, and they're starting to find their own voice and have their own identity.
Did you last one.
Celtics?
Did you have a relationship with Larry?
Jeez, yeah, he was.
You were teammates.
I was his rookie, and he impacted. I got to give credit to Robert Parrish as well, and Kevin McHale. Those three guys all.
Were they cool? The three of them?
They were, but they were hard on me as a rookie.
They were how hard?
They were hard. Pretty hard. It was pretty hard.
See?
But
rude.
I expected,
mean Celtics. I'm glad you left and went got championships with us.
Who was the meanest of the three?
I say Stern. I should say.
Who was the most stern of the three?
Stern. Larry was Stern.
Larry
was Stern. Kevin was full of jokes, and Chief was just full of wisdom.
And weed.
Nice.
That's why I call him Chief. He's always smoking.
Have you had a chance to check out Ice Cube's Big 3 League?
I've watched. I watched twice.
What do you think?
And what'd you think?
It was interesting because I didn't know how the 3-on-3 aspect of it would be from an entertainment standpoint, but I didn't turn the channel. And a lot of it is because of the players I knew, wanting to see how they, in their older ages, were performing.
Right.
It was competitive. I could see, that they figured out a way to keep it moving, because it's 3-on-3 half court, so you could stall. It could get really, uninteresting. But it hasn't been the case. So I'm really happy for Ice Cube, because he's a huge Laker fan. He's a huge basketball fan, and I thought it was a great idea to attempt to execute. Summer basketball, we love basketball year round. Why not have it in the summer? We get the NBA Summer League, but this was a nice bridge between the end of the season, and I think they're in LA actually this weekend. So,
what does Rick Fox say to people who are basketball fans and claim that the way players are moving around the NBA today, Kyrie leaving LeBron doing this, doing that, pulling this player, is very vastly different than the way it was when you played? Because I can look at some teams that were definitely put together championship teams, like when the Lakers got Magic and already had Kareem and already, you know what I mean? The way that Wilt Chamberlain moved around and was a little bit of, you know what I mean? Like, it's happened before. What does Rick Fox say to that?
I think it's happened before. It's always happened, to your point. Players have always been moved. What we're seeing is an era where players are actually having more of a say in when and where they're moved to. Whether they're taking advantage of it in free agency, whether or not they're partnering with other players and having conversations about grouping up in certain cities together. They're taking more of a business approach to their careers and not waiting to be shifted and moved.
Do you like this?
I do. I don't dislike it, because it's a business. And any athlete that is smart enough to know that their career window is, if they're fortunate, the average age is 3 years in the NBA. If you're really good, you can stick around for 14 years, 15 years. You have to make the most of that. And pursuing championships gives you a legacy that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. You want to make as much money as you can. And so understanding the landscape, understanding how to put yourself in a position to get to a city or get to a place where you can succeed with other teammates or make the most money, I don't fault them being businessmen. I just don't. I mean, yes, they are athletes, but this is their career. And how they choose to handle it sometimes is scrutinized. But I just think in today's society, the technology is turned the volume up on all of this to a level where it feels as if this is new, whereas this has always been.
Do you have friends who are your age who really hate you because of how you look?
Out of left field. I like it.
You find him handsome. Everyone does.
Everyone does.
It is. It is. I do have friends that give me a lot of. They enjoy telling me I'm not in the same shape I was when I played basketball. That's how they remind
They're reaching.
me. They remind me that the only reason I get any attention is because my head is big, first of all, and that draws attention. And then I'm just not as in shape as I used to be.
So they got to find something.
They find something.
Who's the most jealous? Which former NBA great hates on your looks the most?
You know what? It's interesting. I don't get it from my peers in the NBA because they're not as in shape as they used to be.
So it's your non-basketball.
But I tell you on a really softer note in that. I had a really warm, touching moment in my life at Turner Studios, where this show Greenleaf had premiered, and I was walking through Turner Studios, and Shaq was there to do Inside the NBA, and he grabbed me. He was like, "You're on the new show Greenleaf." And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Dude," he goes, "you're doing a really good job." I mean, but Shaq is full of jokes.
Yeah.
And he just stopped for a second, and he was like, "I'm really proud of you, man." And it hit me like, I've had people say things to me in my life about, my career, my second career and stuff, but nothing hit me more and touched me more than to have him stop and say he was proud of the fact that I was a part of the show and that it was going so well. I was doing so well. And so, whereas Shaq would be the guy that would tell me I'm not good looking and that I'm out of shape, it was interesting. He actually stopped and out of his day took the time to say that. And it meant more to me than anytime he said, "Hey man, you hit that shot. It was a great shot," or
well, it's because you're out of shape. He can now be nice.
Right, that's what it is.
That's
right.
He's like, he's fat now. Great job.
Great job, Rick. You're fat.
I hope I'm out of shape like Rick Fox at some point.
Yeah,
I'm working towards being out of shape like that.
Greenleaf is available. 2 seasons you said are on Netflix.
If you want to catch up, you can. Well, the first season's on Netflix now. You can obviously on demand it from own TV to catch up on the start of this second season, and then we come back August 15th and 16th, 2-hour premiere. We're usually on it every Wednesday at 10 p.m.
And you're clearly making out with someone on this show. There's some relationship.
Yes, he
You think
falls
they're
in
wasting?
love
You think they're
with
wasting?
the lead character.
Yes.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing.
Just real quick.
Is your shirt off?
How is
how
Oprah?
out of shape are you?
Yeah.
I
Wait.
went 3 months intense to get to where I needed to get. I knew I was going to have to. Trust me, I'm training now for season 3, which we just got picked up for season 3.
Oh, there you go.
I want to know, how is it being with Oprah on set?
I have not been blessed to have that experience yet, but man, it's nice to not only be working for her and working for OWN, but also knowing that she's been in the trenches the last 2 seasons,
Right.
and we know what she does when she's on camera as an actor. It is genius. So I'm just blessed to be on that team with her performing, and then as I think of Craig Wright, the showrunner, he came from Lost and 6 Feet Under. We got Clement Virgo. Sorry, Clement. He did Book of Negroes, and then Merle Dandridge. She's a New York Broadway girl as the lead character, along with Keith David, Lynn Whitfield, Deborah Joy, Lamont Rucker. Like, we have just such a huge cast of actors that have been around for so many years, and the show is killing it with the audience on TV here. So we're blessed and we're proud of the work we're doing. But I think we're touching lives and really dealing with issues as well, issues that need to be addressed.
Touch lives, and ladies watch the show, touch themselves. It's
I'm
fantastic.
catching up on Netflix.
That we didn't have to do that.
Sorry,
I didn't have to.
It's OWN. It's for ladies.
There you go. Give it up. Rick Fox, ladies and gentlemen. He's out of
Thank you,
shape.
guys.
He's still looking good.